It's been a week. It's been a very relatively actually kind of quick off week, if you ask me. But we're back for episode 12 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. Hey, we're into the dozens. So we're in our first dozen batch of shows. And how about that? At the very beginning, we gain our third panelist. As always, Elijah Leonard, I'm the host. I have to be here for every single show. And then top right is Wyatt, and top left is Sean.
Actually late, I see, buddy.
I just got home.
That makes sense.
That does make a little bit of sense, but we might be able to continue on the show here, depending on what everybody else's future schedules here are in just a little bit. I know Wyatt does eventually have to go because he does have to take care of a few things in his little neck of the woods. Because the initial plan was, once he came back, we were going to pick up right where we left off from the show. But since Sean is here, we might be able to keep the ball rolling a little bit. So, without further ado,
he's busy too.
Yeah, Sean doesn't look too happy.
Well, when I now know what we're doing, yeah.
Since when is Sean ever happy?
Well, okay, you got a point there.
So, let's review the Bristol race. You already got my review from the NASCAR Hot Take episode that premiered last Monday morning. So you won't hear my opinion on this show. So if you want my opinion on it, you can go back to the NASCAR Hot Take episode 15, and from there you will get my opinion. But you'll hear these two guys' opinions. So, what'd you both think of the Bristol Dirt Weekend? Oh, Dirt Day.
I saw like the Truck Series. I didn't really get to see much of it because they were both on Monday, and I had like school and then etc. and all that. But then I did get to watch of it. I'm happy for Truex won the Truck Series, and my boy's now a triple threat winner, just like a bunch of other drivers. But in the Cup race, we've seen a lot of surprising faces. Some faces we thought was going to be up there, wrecked, and all that. Mainly Bell, Larson. We had like a lot of chaotic race to the point where we had to go single file.
Mm-hmm.
And it was all in all pretty good. I liked it until the end. I didn't get to watch the end, but I am glad I didn't. If you've seen the race and you know me, you know why I am having this emotion.
You know why he deeply dislikes the end. He liked everything.
I like every race is good until the certain winner wins the race. Then
it just went downhill so fast.
All in all, the race was pretty. All in all, the race was pretty good. I will say. What do you have to say about it, Sean?
I saw both races. It was okay. I just got a problem. The track they used, it was just not as what it was not expected. Not as expected as we normally would see.
Yeah.
Because everyone, I've heard a lot of sides because that was not dirt. We can all agree that was not dirt.
It's more like clay and dust.
Yeah, that was more clay. That was more of a clay type of track.
Yeah.
But it still made the dirt look.
Yeah.
But then the racing, oh geez, it was a mess. On my opinion, because we had 4 red flags that weren't breaks in the Truck Series because of too many people wrecking. We had, if nobody heard about this, remember the whole Natalie Decker getting turned by a tow truck?
Oh yeah.
We had another one of those incidents. This time with John Hunter Nemechek.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was funny.
And I'm thinking to myself, what am I watching? Because it was a mess, in my opinion. I know people had mixed feelings. I just thought it was like, I don't know why I decided to watch this. I don't know why I decided to waste my time.
So here we go. We do have some pretty mixed opinions on the show. As expected. As expected. So, let's move on into grading the weekend. And I have a feeling the grades are going to be very either mixed or a little bit unbalanced, if you have some sort of idea of what I'm trying to say here. So,
Yeah.
let's start off with Sean. I have a feeling he's going to give this either mediocre to low grade here, but I don't know until we get into this. So, starting with you, Sean. If you could give this dirt day, because it was ran on a Monday, from A to F, what would it be and why?
Well, as much as there's going to be a lot of people that think the grade I'm giving shouldn't be happening, I give the Bristol Dirt Bristol Dirt Day racing that we got a C.
Oh, okay.
Reason is I just thought it was going to be a little better than what I thought.
Yeah.
The hype wasn't all that.
The hype wasn't there. It wasn't that hype that they were trying to give us. It was mostly smacked away.
Honestly, I like the guy, but I gotta do this. You're being a lot more honest than what Eric Estep could ever be about this.
Well, I give my. I would say that I didn't think that was so. I didn't think that was gonna be I didn't like the idea in the first place, so I was thinking it's either one, bring my expectations up higher, or two, it was just gonna splat in my face.
Yeah.
I did more splat in the face than anything.
Yeah. Alright. Wyatt, what do you got, man?
I'm kind of mixed because, yes, we had some crazy crashes and stuff, and they were kind of entertaining in the fact that they were random and almost got the leaders, and then the most experienced drivers on dirt had issues and stuff. And, surprise winners, surprise drivers. I want to put this out here. Surprise driver running up front, namely Flores. He was doing really well. To be honest about that, that's probably the best Trackhouse has been so far.
Guaranteed.
So we've had some surprises. We had some bad stuff here and there. I think I'm gonna give this a B.
Okay. It's the highest grade that we've had so far.
Maybe B minus because of Logano. I'm still debating.
Kinda figured.
Yeah.
So it's kinda down to me on this one. So, as I said about the NASCAR hot take episode, the racing itself, when you got into a green flag run, it was okay. It was okay. It was just the starts and the restarts that kind of just jostled everything up. And if I may be honest, just about both the truck race and the cup race combined, they were a mess. Just a mess. A mess. I don't even know what else to tell you, but the thing was, what prompted the single file restarts, as you probably may already know from watching the race, was two two restarts in particular, that saw just a lot of dust just get kicked up through turns 3 and 4, and then also to add on top of that the glare of the sun. Since they were doing this in the evening time and the sun was going down, the sun was glaring right into the dust and into the driver's eyes. They couldn't even see anything. So that's what prompted the single file restarts, and for the most part they worked. They worked really well, and they worked throughout the rest of the day. However, though, I just don't think that makes up for how chaotic and how, I mean, chaos at times is good. It just depends on how much chaos you put into a race or a weekend, really. But it was just messy. Very, very messy. Aside from the good racing, aside from the chaos and everything, it wasn't that bad of a weekend, but it wasn't all that good either. So I'm just going to have to go ahead here. At the best, my very best grade for this is a C+.
So we're all kind of like in the same area, basically.
Within the same range.
Yeah, which that's probably the lowest we've given any race so far.
Besides you at the Daytona Road Course.
But I'm saying altogether, that's the lowest.
Yeah.
Yeah. The lowest grade. What'd you give that race? A D?
Yeah.
Did you give that race a D?
Yeah, I think
Rewind that. Rewind all the way back to that time.
Rewind all the way back. This is the lowest in the group, but the lowest so far is a damn D.
Yeah.
Here's that clip. Here
we go.
Now, why did you give that thing a D?
I thought it wasn't that good.
We're just giving you crap. We're just giving you crap.
Yeah.
Just like when I watched the last video, I gave Elijah was giving me crap about Bill Lester.
It's like y'all heard those sort of people like, I don't like that. That's not right.
It just wasn't. Not to me, at least. But anyways. So when we come back, we're going to be going over some of the topics that we have basically set up for this week's edition of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. So don't go away, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back for episode 12 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. As always, Elijah Leonard with you. To my left, that is Sean Ard. And to the bottom of me, that's Wyatt Walker. He has to go do something, as I mentioned earlier. So he hopefully will be back here very, very soon. So let's get on down here to some of the some of the topics that we have here on my little handy-dandy agenda for this one. First thing that I wanted to talk about is Richmond, Martinsville. We just got the news from them that they're officially welcoming fans back to the racetrack, and this is going to be the first time, obviously, since last year that they've had fans at the track. So, Sean, obviously, as we know, this pandemic, even though it's still on the charge, it's kind of starting to see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel with this news of Richmond and Martinsville welcoming fans back into the stands. Do you agree with that one?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this is a good way to start. Like, we've had this going for several tracks. Like, they want to start bringing fans back. And this seems like it's the best way to start doing it. And for the state of Virginia, I think they've done pretty well on trying to get to that point. So it's good to notice that they're going to bring fans back for Martinsville and Richmond. So I think that's just great to be hearing about this.
I think so. Because this is definitely a lot better than the circumstances that we were being faced with last year when no fans were allowed in the stands. It was so weird seeing empty chairs and also an empty infield at places like Darlington, for example, because that's the only other place that I can think of. That was the very first place that was basically a fan-free zone. One of quite a few on the schedule last year. So this year, it's a little bit different, and I'm very happy to see that. And hopefully we can get a sellout in whatever kind of type of capacity that both of these tracks are going to have when it comes down to that point.
Yeah, and it's gonna be great to just see that we're gonna start getting there, and maybe in the later on this season or maybe next season have full crowds.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about Martinsville here for a second, because there was a very interesting news item that I thought would have been a good one to talk about, because it has been teased that Martinsville is experimenting with some rain tires. And we have, I believe, a lot of fans have talked about using rain tires at other racetracks other than road courses before. And I think Martinsville was on the list of tracks that we could use rain tires on. I don't know about any other racetrack, though, that has an excessive amount of banking. So, with Martinsville being one of the first to experiment with rain tires, do you think that's going to smell some good news when it comes to rain racing on a short track?
This one I'm kind of midst on. Like, yeah, that's a good thing that they're going to do rain tires on tracks. The part I'm just not that much excited for is that we're doing it on short tracks, like a Bristol or a Martinsville or those sorts of tracks. I'm just like, that's where I kind of get a little uneasy.
I kind of think that if you're gonna do it, I think Martinsville may be one of the best places to do it, because it's a flatter track, obviously, with a 9 degrees of banking. So I mean, it's a good place to start. I'm mixed on it at the same time, because it's part of it could be just, if you have to do a rain race in Martinsville, how you gonna do it? Because the track is gonna be, the track would be drenched. It's an asphalt / concrete track where where concrete basically kind of behaves a little bit differently than asphalt would. So it's you. Go ahead.
I'll be back. Hold on.
Oh, all right. Well, I guess it's just me for now. So basically, what you'd be doing is you'd be going down into the first corner, either in the first corner or in the third corner, at maybe like half throttle or whatever, and then you try to get into the first corner. I think you probably have to half throttle the straightaways and roll and brake a little bit harder, I would have to believe, and have your car roll through the corner and just barely feather the throttle as you're trying to get off the corner and onto a straightaway, and then go back to half throttle. Because obviously rain tires, yes, they're specifically designed to go through the rain. Obviously, that is a very no-duh explanation of what the purpose of a rain tire is actually supposed to be. However, I just don't think it's a really good fit for any other type of oval track. But we don't know that 100% until we actually get some data back on how rain tires would be on a place like Martinsville. So, let's move on to some more exciting news. Bristol Dirt's coming back in 2022. Yeah. Yeah. Sean, are you happy?
To be honest, no.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not one of those people that's like super optimistic about it, because we've seen how Bristol Dirt went this year.
Yeah.
It was not good. It was not bad either. You know, it was just a plain old mess. But I wonder if next year they're gonna go into Bristol Dirt with a little bit more of a different approach and more of a different type of learning of the racetrack. Or if it does get enough backlash next year, do you move the place to somewhere like, say, take the Bristol Dirt race and replace it with Knoxville? I don't know. I mean, because I feel like between Bristol Dirt and Knoxville, I would prefer Knoxville, because that's a 100% straight up dirt track, straight up dirt, and I feel like that would be a much better race to watch than on Bristol Dirt, because honestly, Bristol may have been a dirt track in the past, but it's definitely not the same as what it was this year, 20 years later. So honestly, I would probably think that if you ever have a problem with Bristol Dirt next year, you might as well, while you have the time, replace it with Knoxville.
Yeah, go to one of these real dirt tracks that we have around the country, because I would think that would bring better racing.
Honestly. You could go back to Eldora if you wanted to. You could go to, I don't know, maybe Marty Zacala might like this one, Oswego, if you're able to fit 40 cars onto that track. I don't know. You got, as far as dirt tracks are concerned, you've got a lot of options.
Yeah, there's a lot of options with the dirt tracks that there are around.
Yeah. But alrighty, so I believe we have gotten through all of our topics that we have for today. So coming back, when we come back from our commercial break, we will be reviewing or previewing Martinsville. So don't go away, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back for episode 12 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. I'm back. Wyatt's back. Sean's still here. But Wyatt unfortunately has to go again in a little bit.
Well, in a little bit, and I'm still disappointed I missed all the talk what y'all talk about. I'm hoping that maybe get my thoughts on it at some point.
Be sure to keep your eyes out for that Future Among Us video, guys. They'll probably come out in May. I don't even know.
but it will be gone by then.
Jeez. But anyways, let's go ahead and preview Martinsville. We got Xfinity and Cup this weekend. We would usually have trucks and Cup, but not this year. It is Xfinity and Cup at Martinsville this weekend. So, I want to go ahead and get you guys' opinions on this one. Since these both, I believe, are going to be night races, what are your thoughts on what you guys think could happen this weekend at Martinsville?
Well, Martinsville, like any other Martinsville, it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a long race, a really long race. We're going to have some action here or there. Tempers are going to be riled up and stuff. But all in all, it's just going to be regular Martinsville. I don't know what else there is to say. Xfinity's going to be back, and they had a pretty good race at the returning.
Mm-hmm.
We got Harrison Burton winning, and if I remember correctly, the last person to win was a Burton. If I remember correctly, that was not Harrison.
Might have been Jeff
No, Jeff Burton, but I think it was like a record breaking or something. I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. It had something to do that he did better than his father or something. I don't remember. But all in all, can't wait to see what happens. And it's Sean's turn to leave.
Well, he's the first one to go.
I was just about to call your name too.
Sean basically, I think, is just gonna say it's gonna be some good short track racing, and everybody knows short track racing. It equals short track tempers.
I'm going for you. It's just short track racing.
Oh my gosh.
You know where I got that from, right?
Thanks, Denny.
Yeah, Denny.
Denny.
It's just short track racing.
It's short track racing. But alright. We're not really gonna wait for Sean's thoughts.
Hey, you didn't wait for me. I don't wait for you.
On what's gonna happen this weekend. All I can say for Sean is short track racing will mean short track tempers at times, if there will be any. Yeah. Most likely there will be, because it's Martinsville. So why don't we go ahead, get on down to our predictions. Hopefully you guys liked those new animation stuff for the predictions. That I honestly think was really cool. I did take some time to make that stuff, so hopefully you guys actually do like it.
That's I'll be honest. I didn't really look back on any of the videos, so I might not even see that.
You.
I'm sorry.
Go look at it. It's actually really cool. But we'll give you a driver who we think is gonna win. We give you a driver who we think is gonna stay away from, and we give you the dark horse. If you've been here long enough, you already know my explanation for all three of these predictions. 1 point per category correct. And we're not even close to any crown jewel races other than the Coke 600, but that's a little bit later on. So, I guess without further ado, since he's not here, Wyatt, you're up first.
Alright, and I've just got it pulled up on my handy dandy buddy right here. And I've been thinking about, I think back to the last Martinsville race. My dark horse, I liked how Harrison Burton won, but I don't think he'll go back to back. I'm pulling for, I hate to do this to him, but he's been consistent. I really wish I'd see him win, but this race is not his race. I'm going Daniel Hemrick as my dark horse.
Ooh, okay.
My driver to stay win, I do not remember how he was, but I'm not sure he was up there. I'm giving it to Michael Annette.
Okay.
My driver to win, this is a gut feeling. I think he did okay at this race, if I remember this correctly. I'm giving it to Noah Gragson.
Okay. All right.
Oh. Now for the Cup Series. This one's tricky. This one is really tricky because, yeah. Dark horse. You know what? I'm going to give it to Denny Hamlin.
That's a good one.
Denny Hamlin's a good dark horse. He's pretty good there. Driver to stay away from. I don't think he if I remember correctly, I don't think he has a Martinsville win. He may do. I don't remember. Not one recently that I heard of, at least. But I may give it, and because of what happened to him a year ago, got screwed himself out of a championship. Kevin Harvick.
I saw that one.
I'm giving it to you. You knew I was going to say Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, because you said because he screwed himself out of the chase, out of the championship.
Speaking of people who screwed himself out of championships, what's up, Sean?
Wow. I never took myself out for a championship. What do you mean?
Think about that. Anyways, Harvick's my driver to stay away from, and my driver to win. This is actually pretty difficult because we got a good amount of drivers. We got a good amount of drivers. We got Martrex Jr. We got Chase Elliott, who won the race and then eventually won his championship. Who else is good? Martinsville on this list. I already said like Hamlin's pretty good, but he's not on the list. Kyle Busch is okay. Matt Benedetto did pretty good last time.
Yeah.
But I think he finished second a couple years ago when Martrex Jr. won. We will not have different winner number 8 this week. I'm going to go with William Byron.
Oh.
Ooh.
I think William Byron may have a chance to get himself a grandfather clock.
Okay. All right. Sean, what do you think? What are you thinking, buddy?
Yeah, well, let's get on into my prediction. So, I'm going to use Taylor's method as always to start off. And driver to stay away from. I'm going to choose Noah Gragson.
Oh.
Driver to stay away from?
Yeah. Because he's been in a couple of accidents the past couple of weeks. Well, the past couple of races that we did see at Xfinity Series.
That is a good point.
So, I think this is going to be another place where it's going to be bad luck continuing. And I'm just saying that because he is good, I just don't think it's going to continue on. Next up, Dark Horse. This is a guy that won multiple times, and I think he's just going to continue on with that good run of good finishes. Austin Cindric.
Does Austin Cindric even did good at the last Martinsville race?
I think so.
I don't think he was really in contention, to be honest.
Yeah, I know he was in contention for the win, but
No, it wasn't for the win.
I know it wasn't for the win. He's just had a good couple of races. That's why I think he is going to continue on.
I get that.
But the driver I think is going to win. He won the race back in the fall. I think he's going to do it again. Harrison Burke.
I didn't get back.
Me and him disagreed on a lot on our picks.
Let's see.
I actually picked your driver to stay away from was actually my winner.
Wow. Let's
And
see
I didn't think Burn.
Yo, go ahead.
See how this is fine. Let's see how the Cup Series goes.
Let's see how many disagreements we're gonna have here.
Also, by the way, Sean, at the beginning of this, you owe me $274,000. So let's see how much you owe me now.
Wait. Let me just say this: how many have I paid? Nothing.
Well, you still owe me, so you better get that ready.
And how much will I pay you after this week? Nothing.
All of the money.
Nah.
Yes.
Nah. Let's start off with the Dark Horse. I think this guy has done very well at this track, and I think he's going to have another good finish. I'm choosing Martin Truex Jr.
Like that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll just go right off. Martin Truex Jr. Dark horse.
Okay. 293.
Okay, driver to stay away from. I think this driver has not had the best of luck with Martinsville, and I think that might continue on. I'm choosing Austin Dillon.
Oh.
Ooh. That's actually not a bad one. The last time I remember Austin Dillon getting to car Martinsville last year, and the main reason is he had no air conditioning.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think he's just gonna have some trouble, and plus he's had a bit of trouble the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the guy I think who might win, I'm gonna give it Danny Hamlin.
I think it's actually a pretty good one right there. But alrighty.
Because, well, I'm gonna say this: Hamlin has done well, but Martinsville, he's had some good luck and had some bad luck. I think he's gonna have some good luck this time.
All right.
Hamlin is pretty good at Martinsville. That's why he's my dark horse.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's time. It's time. It's time to me. Okay.
Time to get
Uh-oh.
to the host.
So,
That's never good.
good one. Anyways, for my driver to win, you know
It's
what?
not Bill Lester, is it?
Shut the hell up. No, it's not Bill Lester. But who is Matt Jaskell? Matt Jaskell's driving the 13. Who's that?
I don't know.
who
Maybe
that is.
probably Sean's twin. I don't know.
What? Never heard of this guy.
Oh jeez, I haven't heard of him
Nah,
either.
he's probably your brother to both Taylor and Sean. Let's be real here.
Nah, I don't relate to Taylor. He's too weird.
Well, you better continue before you start chewing me out.
Anyways, let's talk about my driver to win. Wow, he straight up left. He absolutely left. Okay, but circling back to my driver to win, I honestly am thinking of a different winner here. I'm gonna shoot on a little bit of a curveball here and say AJ Allmendinger's my driver to win.
Actually, not a bad one. He's starting to do good on all the tracks. It wouldn't surprise me he gets his first short track win.
And I honestly think, because if you go back to the Cup Series, right? Martinsville was one of his best tracks. And his highest finish there is second. You remember 2012, about 10 years ago?
Yeah, didn't Newman win that? Didn't Newman win that race?
Yep. Correct, Mungo. And I think in 2015 and 16, or either 2016 and 17, whichever window, time frame, or whatever, he actually did relatively good, especially for JGD Rotary equipment at the time.
Yeah,
But,
I agree.
I'm gonna say
Welcome back, Sean.
welcome back.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say AJ Allmendinger's my driver to win. My driver to stay away from, on the other hand, man. You know, I'm a little bit torn on a driver to stay away from. But I'm honestly gonna say I'm not going to say Ty Gibbs because, let's be honest, Ty Gibbs most likely is going to be a contender without a shadow of a doubt. So, to pick Ty Gibbs as the driver to stay away from, that is...
Oh, he was in the race. I didn't know he was in the race. And I didn't,
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm thinking about different Ty. Dad gummit.
No.
Damn it, I'm thinking about different Ty. God damn it,
Ty.
never mind.
Wrong Ty.
Wrong
But-
Ty. I forgot. Yeah, he's good. Yeah, Ty Gibbs is good.
If you were to if you were to choose Ty Dillon, okay, I understand. There's-
I didn't. Yeah, that's where I messed up. I'm like, oh crap!
There's-
Wait a minute. I'm thinking about the wrong Ty.
There's no way you're gonna get fired by choosing Ty Gibbs as your driver to stay away from. Honestly,
Yeah.
he will be a contender. Mark
Oh, yeah, he
my
will be.
words. But
He will be.
To pick
That's
Ty
why-
Gibbs.
That's why he's your dark horse, right?
I mean, well, you never know until I say it.
Yeah, I know, but you get why I said that, right?
Yeah, but my driver to stay away from, just to get this out of the way, it's not Bill Lester. Why?
It's
Because
Bill-
Because he's not in this race.
It's Bill Lester Jr. that you're choosing.
Oh, totally, man. What car is he driving this weekend? Oh, 74. No, wait, I'm kidding. By the way, when I say that. No. My driver to stay away from. But yeah, as I was saying about choosing Ty Gibbs as a driver to stay away from, if you choose Ty Gibbs as a driver to stay away from, you've got to be at least, you've got to have a few screws that have probably come a little bit loose.
Unless you're a damn time traveler.
Right? But my driver to stay away from, circling back here, I'm gonna say, I'm probably just gonna have to go with my gut here. I'm gonna say Riley Herbst is my driver to stay away from. That's
Yeah,
just-
Herbst hasn't been doing all. I mean, he's done well a couple times, but just like
he's not making that much of an impact right now.
exactly.
Yeah.
Even though he's the new driver at Stuart Haas, he hasn't been doing as much.
I feel like he did okay at Gibbs. He did relatively okay over there. I feel like that was his comfort zone, but to move over to Stuart Haas, obviously, as we've seen, it hasn't been the best showing of him. And Martinsville, I think, is going to add on to that not so fortunate.
Yeah, I
accolade.
agree.
Yeah.
But my dark horse, on the other hand, whew, man, you know, honestly, I think I'm gonna go with a challenge on a dark horse.
Ooh, a challenge.
I would say Ty Gibbs. Too easy though on that one. Too easy though, because we've seen how he's done the last two times that he's been on the Xfinity circuit.
Cedric's too easy as well.
Actually, different person. Josh Berry's my dark horse.
Josh Berry?
Yeah, Josh Berry.
Here's where I'm torn about Josh Berry. And we've looked at the last couple of Xfinity races he's been in. He's the 8 car, right? For
Yes.
Junior Motorsport. Think about the last 2 races he's been in.
You
I'm
also gotta
50-50 on. I mean,
you also have to think about this here. Josh Berry is mainly a late model driver, so he spends a lot of time on the short tracks. So I feel like
that
this
is a
is
good point.
so I feel like Martinsville is a really good place for him to actually do super well at.
yeah, fair point. Fair point.
Yeah, that's a good point right there.
Yes. So there you have it. That's my dark horse for Xfinity. Challenge accepted. Alright, here we go. My driver to win for Cup race in Martinsville. He won back-to-back at one point. He won in the fall. He won in the spring last year. This year, I feel like he'll keep his spring streak alive and make it 2 in a row for spring races in Martinsville. Martin Truex Jr. That's my driver to win right there.
Wait, it is 2 in a row for spring. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah, it's 3 when it comes to 3 overall when it comes to wins at Martinsville. If he adds that win, that is. My driver to stay away from. Honestly, if I have to choose a driver to stay away from, it has to be a driver that is driving within the 20s. And out of the 4, I'm crossing off Christopher Bell. He is not one of those drivers to stay away from. Matt Benedetto is not one of them. It's
Hold on, before you could, I'll say this though. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but my thing is, on the Christopher Bell thing, I was actually thinking about him. Sadly, I was actually thinking about him as this driver to stay away from because hasn't been the best at Martinsville, to be honest.
Well,
Yeah,
but no,
that's a little.
but no. Bell is not my driver to stay away from. It is actually Bubba Wallace. I feel like I feel like of all people, especially for 2311, Bubba Wallace will not do all that well.
Yeah.
I'll
give you.
You see,
Go.
actually getting back to all seriousness here, instead of being like a medieval person here. Honestly, you go back to the Bristol dirt race. He actually did okay. Right up until he had that tire problem, which ultimately knocked him out of what could have been a really good finish for him. You know, he just overall the team has not done all that great. They kind of really not that exceeded the bar of the expectations that I think a lot of people had set for the team, and also for Bubba Wallace himself, because that's a lot of pressure to overcome when it comes down to when it comes down to driving for a championship caliber type of driver in Denny Hamlin, who still has yet to win a championship, and an NBA legend.
I gotta go.
All right.
I'll talk to you all in a bit.
Alrighty. Well, there goes Wyatt. But anyways, my point still stands. The team just hasn't been doing all that well.
Yeah.
And it just,
I kind of.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I see where you're going with that. 2311 has not done that well, which we had that whole discussion with the week before last, and just thinking how 2311 has done, it just hasn't been that good.
No. But my dark horse, on the other hand, I'm gonna challenge myself for this one.
You're gonna challenge yourself again.
Daniel Suarez is gonna be my dark horse.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
Because what I have to say about that is the exact opposite of Bubba Wallace. Is that Trackhouse has been really quiet, but they have just been so consistent, and they've been basically kicking down every obstacle that they've had right in front of them. The only time that they have obviously not done all that well is the Daytona 500. That's it. That's their worst race.
But besides the 500, they've done really well.
So honestly, I feel like Martinsville, I think, is going to be a very similar story. Probably not as similar to what we saw at Bristol Dirt, where Suarez and Trackhouse have been out front more longer than any other race that they've ever been out front in, or have actually been inside of the top 5, but, you know, the point still stands. Suarez and Trackhouse, I think, are going to be a dark horse team heading into Martinsville.
Yeah, I agree. I agree very well.
So, Sean, any final thoughts before the Martinsville weekend gets underway?
I'm just ready to see Martinsville racing. Can't wait to see it, especially since it's at nighttime.
Yeah, that'll be fun, honestly. So, with that being said, I honestly do think that what we're gonna see here, so we're gonna see really good racing, really good night short track racing at night under the lights at Martinsville, which I think that's what we've been waiting for a very long time, and we've been able to get it throughout the last couple of years. But there goes Sean. It's the end of the show anyway, so at this rate, it's all right. But that's gonna do it for episode 12 of the NASCAR Pit Stop Show. I want to thank you guys a lot for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like. If you have not considered subscribing yet, I recommend you do so to keep up with some fine content coming out in the near future. And that about does it for me. On behalf of Sean Ard and Wyatt Walker, I'm Elijah Leonard, and I'll see you in the next one.